Hey there folks, John here with Through My Lens, and today I'm coming to you with another firearms related video. Today we'll be looking at the SIG Romeo1 Pro red dot optic. Now fans of Through My Lens will know that I recently got the SIG Legion X5 and I sent it to Terran Tactical Innovations to have some modifications done. There's both a video here on the Through My Lens YouTube channel and an article on throughmylens.org. And you can read all about both the Legion and the work that Terran Tactical Innovations did to my gun. But the Legion X5 now uses the new optic footprint that a lot of the newer SIG P320s are using. It's a military requirement that the optic footprint be compatible with the Leupold Delta Point Pro. This particular, this Legion X5, unlike the previous version of the X5, which I have here with the previous Romeo1 Pro, this one will only accept the Leupold Delta Point Pro or this new Romeo1 Pro. And it did take a while for SIG to get that out on the market. It's only in the last week or so become available, and I snapped up one as soon as they came out. Now, I've been using the Romeo1 for quite some time. Again, I have one mounted on this this other X5 that I have. I've got now three X5s, and I've got at least 3 different versions of the 6 MOA Romeo1, which this is one of them. And by and large, I've had no complaints. And the Romeo1 Pro is very, very similar to the older version, the Romeo1. As you can see, looking at them side by side here, the dimensions are the same, the form factor is the same, the controls are the same, they take the same size battery, very, very similar aesthetically. In the literature, SIG talks about a couple of things that are different. One of them being the emitter that's on the Romeo1 Pro. That's the electronic device that actually makes the dot appear on the screen. The emitter has been upgraded, and it produces a little brighter, a little clearer dot, and it is more battery efficient. According to the literature, the Romeo1 Pro will last 20,000 hours between battery changes, compared to about 2,600 hours on the previous version of the Romeo. It wasn't a big deal. The battery issue wasn't a big deal for me. I normally change the battery before any major competition anyway. So I was, sometimes I'd change batteries every couple of months. Why not? A battery's only a couple, $3. Again, I use these for competition only. I don't use them in a defensive kind of a purpose. So the battery, it's nice, but it's not a big deal to me that they upgraded the battery life. The emitter, the quality of the dot, it is a little nicer when I compare them side by side. The Romeo1 Pro here, the dot does appear to be a little sharper and a little bit brighter. But again, once you start shooting, particularly in the style of shooting that I do when I shoot competitively in Steel Challenge or USPSA, it's not something that you notice while you're shooting the gun. You have to really be, looking at them side by side to see the differences. But it is an improvement, so we'll take it. What else? From a material standpoint, I think the Romeo1 Pro is going to be a little bit more robust because it's CNC'd from aluminum, which most other red dots on the market are CNC'd from aluminum, versus magnesium on the old Romeo1. The previous Romeo1, I think they did that. They used magnesium to make it lighter, but there have been some complaints that if you drop the gun and it lands on the optic, that magnesium doesn't quite have the structural rigidity that aluminum would have. So some optics did crush and the glass broke as a result of the magnesium that was being used. So again, the Romeo1 Pro, I think, will be more robust from that standpoint. The only real complaint that I ever had with the Romeo1 and how I use it is that you may be able to see that there are some scratches in the finish. That's on both sides. And that usually happened with any of the old versions of the Romeo1s. I got that same finish wear. I don't know why. I'm not hard on them at all. They go from my safe into the pistol bag to a match in the holster, draw, shoot the match. They go back into the pistol bag and then back into the safe. So they don't get a lot of hard wear. So I always thought the finish was not particularly robust. But again, it's a competition gun. They're going to get banged around anyway, I suppose. So that I never did really care too much about that. It just kind of bugged me a little bit. You'll also see that the controls here, you can sort of see the outline of the embossed arrows for the up and down for the brightness controls here. When this Optic is new, there's a green luminescent paint that's on there that I think is supposed to allow you to be able to see the controls in low light to be able to make adjustments. And that paint comes off very quickly, like within a week. It seems like that luminescent paint is gone. And they don't have that same luminescent paint here on the Romeo1 Pro. It's and I don't believe this gray paint has any luminescent qualities, but and it does seem to be far more robust because it's not showing any signs of wear, and I've had this for about a week now. So I'm very happy. And it appears as though the paint, the finish that's on this is also more robust than the other version. So that makes me very happy. I did an unboxing on the Romeo1 Pro, and I showed off some of the accessories that come with the new Romeo1 Pro, which make me very happy. It does come with the new shroud that can make the whole system more robust and can take more damage. If you were going to use this, say in a training class where you might be racking the gun off the optic on like a barricade or your belt or your shoe, you might want to consider using that shroud. I don't think I'll need it though for what I do, but it's nice that I have it in case I should want to do that down the road. It's a nice option to have. The other thing that is in the literature that is supposedly different between these two optics is SIG talks about the true hold system for the windage and elevation adjustments. It is a screwless system. In other words, there's not a screw here that you have to unlock before you can make the windage and elevation adjustments. They talk about that true hold system as being present in the Pro. They don't talk about it at all as being present in the Romeo1. However, they both operate the same. So it's possible that there are internal differences, but I don't see anything externally. Again, all the controls seem identical. There are no screws in the old Romeo1, so if it doesn't use the same true hold system, it uses one that's similar. So, from a recommendation standpoint, I have no problem with the Romeo1 Pro. You probably saw some range footage in the intro that I did. I did take it out, adjusted the zero, shot it, put a couple hundred rounds through it, no problems. Time will tell if I get any failures, again, because my competition guns get thousands of rounds. I'd say both of my X5s have at least 10,000 rounds each on them. So, I will put it through the ringer, and I will certainly report on throughmylens.org if I have any issues or any problems. But so far I have no issues. The Romeo1 Pro is a little bit more expensive, but I think it's worth it in terms of some of the other accessories that it comes with. So if you do get a Legion or another SIG gun that requires the Delta Point Pro footprint, I would strongly recommend the SIG Romeo1 Pro over the Delta Point Pro, which again I don't care for. Or if you have a non-SIG gun that has that footprint, I would definitely consider the Romeo1 Pro for use on that firearm. Another thing that I do like about the Romeo1 kind of form factor here, one of the main reasons I use it is a large area, a large window to use, but the way it's designed, it's pretty easy to clean. You can get in there with a cleaning cloth relatively easily, and I always recommend that folks use these foam-tipped optic cleaning rods that rangestore.net sells. You'll see a link in the description box to these. If you're not using these, why? Because they make cleaning, particularly in the corners of the Optic, they make it very easy to use. Again, the Romeo1, I've always appreciated that it was, you've got a nice wide window of view, and it is a pretty easy Optic to clean. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Take care, God bless. We'll see you in the next one. I hope you've enjoyed this production from the Through My Lens YouTube channel. If you did, please click on the like button and do share the video on social media. If you'd like to see more content like it, please do subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and do check out Through My Lens at www.throughmylens.org.